What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to MTG Deep Dive. Today I kind of want to talk about the 2026 iPhone lineup because we're going to get some changes. We're going to get some things that we used to get every year that we're not going to get, and some completely new devices. And kind of talk all about that in this video and talk about which devices we're going to get, what we can expect from them, and see which device you probably want to pick up. And honestly, I'm excited for what 2026 has to hold in terms of the iPhones. So this is not going to be about like hype or just wild leaks. Like I kind of want to go through just like the rumors, and not wild leaks, but like kind of credible leaks, ones that will turn out to be true or have a high possibility of turning out to be true, that kind of fit with the Apple's vision. I think 2026 is looking like the year that Apple is going to finally separate its flagship phones, like its Pros and Ultras, by purpose, not just the size. So here's why 2026 might kind of be a different year. For years, Apple's Pro and Pro Max phones, they've been essentially identical, other than like obviously the size and the battery capacity. But hardware innovation has kind of slowed, not just for Apple, but across the industry, or at least that's what we would think. But then again, like I look at phones in China, they're getting really great upgrades every single year. Maybe it's just phones here in the US. Maybe it's because like we don't have too much competition or whatever the case may be. Like we're not getting those really great upgrades in tech. Nonetheless, Apple every year, their change, at least excluding the 17 Pros, have been refinement. Like each year we've been getting like a new iPhone, but it's been like, it feels like we got an S upgrade every single year, S after S after S. And I think 2026 is going to be like, okay, now we finally get a new, well, again, excluding the Pros, we might get a new set of iPhones. But that's, I think, where we might see that lineup separation as well. And an introduction to the Fold. That's right. We might be getting the iPhone Fold in 2026. So we're going to go over what's rumored, and actually Front Page Tech put out a whole video about what's rumored with the iPhone Fold. So we're going to go over that. But the iPhone 18 Pro. So with this iPhone 18 Pro, what's rumored and the specs, here it is. Essentially, the iPhone Pro, 18 Pro and Pro Max, they're going to continue to be Apple's true professional tool. They're not going to be thin. They're not going to be light, but they're going to be the most capable iPhone, as expected, right? We're expecting to get the same 6.3-inch display, same 120 Hz ProMotion. We might get a higher peak brightness, maybe like 4,000 instead of 3,000. We don't know, but this feels like Apple prioritizing usability over spec sheet numbers. So we're going to have to wait and see, but essentially the display itself is going to be like the same size, 6.3-inch OLED display. Now, where the changes might come in that display is going to be with like Face ID and design. One of the most consistent rumors that we've been seeing for a while now is under display Face ID. And that would leave just a small camera cutout or a pinhole for, again, the camera. And we've also seen rumors that the iPhone front-facing camera, the 18 Pro and Pro Max, they're going to move it to the top left corner. Again, we don't know how true that is, but it's becoming more and more credible. Like more and more rumors are kind of like stacking up on each other, saying it's going to move to the top left. Again, we don't know exactly what's going on, but we've been also hearing like this under display Face ID for years now. It would be a huge visual shift without redesigning the phone. So the front of the display would get the change in design, whereas the back, I think, would for the most part stay essentially the same, with probably just some new colors that Apple does test. And now that we're getting an aluminum unibody, it's going to be easy to get the colors that we would want. Like imagine a dark green iPhone 18 Pro or a dark red, crimson red iPhone 18 Pro. That would be absolutely phenomenal. The performance, obviously, we're going to be getting some upgrades with this. The A20 Pro chipset. It's rumored to be built on TSMC's 2 nanometer process, which is it's pretty good. That's going to mean better efficiency more than raw speed. And I don't think Apple needs more performance. Honestly, they still have, their performance is great. They got to keep improving on their thermals and their battery life. And especially with AI workloads, I think with this A20 Pro, it's going to be so powerful in terms of, raw speed, but also efficiency. Even though I think this is going to, this A20 Pro is going to have better efficiency than raw speed, we're still going to get that improved raw speed. It's going to feel like a M1 moment where we get a huge jump in change in the performance department. And hopefully Apple does shift a lot of focus into AI workloads, because Apple intelligence is just not up there with the competition. Like I use an iPhone, but I have to resort to using other AI tools, other parties, other apps, whatever the case may be, because of Apple Intelligence being so wonky on this. I want Apple Intelligence to be really good, but it's not, and that's the unfortunate thing. The camera system, it's expected we're going to be getting the same triple camera setup with this triangular cutout, and the main difference, though, we may get is a variable aperture lens with the 18 Pros. That would be great. So I'm excited to try that out. But also some things that I would like to see is 100x zoom, 8K video recording. That would be great. You can keep the triple 48 megapixel, like the megapixel count can stay the same, but add that, like 100x zoom would be great. Add 8K video recording, that would be great. And I think 18 Pro is going to be a great phone for those who really want to get into the professional world, who really want to get into content creation. It's going to be those people who do shoot videos, who do take photos, who want the most camera control. This is the iPhone that Apple expects professionals to buy. And I think Apple's going to continue to, they put a lot of effort every year into their camera system, and I think 2026 with the 18 Pros is going to be no different. The 18 Pro Max, it's again those same upgrades I talked about is going to come to the 18 Pro Max. Again, it's going to have a 6.9-inch display, so same as its predecessor, same ProMotion, hopefully upgraded display brightness, and then the battery. Essentially, we're hearing it may get a little bit thicker, both on the Pro and Pro Max. So we're going to get be getting thicker sizes for both. The A20 Pro chipset based on a 2 nanometer chip. So it's going to be great on both ends. But obviously with the Pro Max having a larger battery, it's going to be great for heavy users, those who are going to be out on the go, for travelers, for example. You're going to be getting certainly the best battery life within the iPhone lineup. It's something to be excited for. Again, that Face ID change is definitely going to be coming to the iPhone 18 Pro Max as well. It's probably going to have on their display with just a camera cutout or in the middle, or the camera cutout being in the top left. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens on that end. There's definitely like other rumors, but other than like the camera change, the Face ID change, and obviously the A20 Pro chipset change, and there's also a thicker battery. There's really not much more that I personally would like to see, like just thinking off the top of my head. Oh, maybe you can get rid of this camera control button. I don't like that. I don't think a lot of people like that. I've disabled it on all of my iPhones because like I just don't use it. I mean, I even disabled it on my iPhone Air because it just gets really, really annoying. But iPhone 18 Pro Max is definitely going to be for those who just want the absolute best. Which one will I probably pick up between the two? I'm going to continue to go with the Pro, just the regular Pro, not the Pro Max. Because I like having a very powerful Pro phone without having a super large device. And I think this Pro is going to be that device for me, the 18 Pro. Now, the big thing is the iPhone Fold. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead for a moment, bring my OnePlus open. This OnePlus Open is one of my absolute favorite foldables. It came out at the end of 2023. And it looks like we're going to be getting an iPhone Fold in the shape of a book, like the folding book style. But it's not going to be exactly like the OnePlus Open, because the OnePlus Open, both the outer display, especially the outer display, it feels like a conventional smartphone. I think with the rumors showing, the iPhone Fold is going to adapt a passport style. So a OG Pixel Fold or Apple Find N2 style foldable. So it's going to have a wider outer display, and when you open it up, a 7.4 to 7.8 inch inner display. I think it's sitting at around like 7.8 inch inner display. Now, Apple is prioritizing a crease that's going to essentially not going to be there, but I'm sure there'll still be a crease, but it's not going to be as visible. It's going to be barely visible when compared to its competitors like the Z Fold 7. We'll see what Z Fold 8 has in store, and I'm excited to try that out when it does come out, probably in the summer. OnePlus Open is still one of my favorite foldables, and this came out like 2 years ago. And I still love this phone. It still packs a punch, even to this day. But 2026 is the year we're finally going to be getting the iPhone Fold. Like I'm genuinely excited for an iPhone Fold. And there's going to be a lot of people that for years they're like, oh, I'm never going to use an iPhone Fold. I don't understand the concept about a Fold. They're going to go and pick up an iPhone Fold, and they're going to be like, oh, well, this is the best thing that has ever come out. Apple's, redesigned the Fold, and they reimagined the Fold, and all of this nonsense. And when you tell them, hey, look, you were the one talking about like how iPhone Fold, it wasn't going to be the device for you, like how you didn't like folds. They're like, oh no, well, Apple made one. That's why it's so good. No. Like, we already have really great foldables. We have the Z Fold 7, which, by the way, I don't have right now. I kind of want to pick one up. I had one, but I ended up sending that back to Samsung. And I do want to pick one up for myself to use as my main device, but as of right now, I'm kind of holding off on it. At this point, like, I might as well just wait for the Z Fold 8. I still have the Z Fold 6 though. OnePlus Open though has been one of my favorite foldables to come out by far. So with this iPhone Fold, again, we're getting a book style, more like a passport style. So wider and thinner, and I think 5.4 inch, 5.5 inch outer display is going to be absolutely great. I would love that. I would love to have a wider passport style iPhone Fold. I'd rather have that than like a book style Z Fold 7-esque iPhone Fold, if you know what I mean. Now the performance, we're expecting like an A20 Pro chipset, probably the same as the 18 Pros, or maybe it might have like one less core to it. I don't know, we'll see. But we are going to be getting that Fold. And the cameras, they're not going to beat the Pro cameras. It looks like we're going to be getting a dual camera setup. So it's not going to be a triple camera, but nonetheless, it's better than the iPhone Air, which has a single camera setup. And I think the iPhone Fold is going to be more of a productivity device, not a camera first device. If you want the best of the best cameras, you're still going to have to go for the Pro. The iPhone Fold is going to be a productivity device, not a camera first device. So if you truly want the best of the best cameras, you're not going to go with the Fold. You're going to go with the iPhone 18 Pro or Pro Max. Now, there's definitely going to be some changes in software. The software experience is going to be a little bit different. So Apple has to kind of work around giving an iOS 27 look to the iPhone Fold and adapt the iOS 27 experience to a Fold. It may be like a mini iPad mini experience. I don't know. But honestly, even if an iPhone Fold does release, I still hope Apple keeps the iPad mini lineup, because I just love that iPad mini, just a thought of having an iPad mini. Just having a mini iPad laying around. Like, I don't want my iPhone Fold to replace my iPad mini. I still want to carry an iPad mini. It sounds weird when you think about it, but like, I used the OnePlus Open for a long time as my main device, and I still have, sometimes I think about switching back to the OnePlus Open as my daily phone, even though it's been like 2 years since this came out. And when I was rocking this, I was still using the iPad mini as my main iPad. Even though I had a larger display right here with the OnePlus Open, I still liked using specific things for the iPad mini. So I think there's going to be real split screen apps. There's going to be real multitasking with the iPhone Fold. And I don't know, like it may quietly replace the iPad mini, but I hope it doesn't. And we're already hearing rumors of iPad mini 8 getting some upgrades. So hopefully Apple sticks to keeping the iPad mini, but that's again for a different video, a different deep dive talking about iPad mini, the future and things like that. But it's rumored that this iPhone Fold is probably going to be priced around $2,000 to $2,500. Well above the Pro Max. It's going to be its most expensive iPhone, and Apple tries to push their limits to see how much will people pay for an iPhone. And I think people are going to pay $2,000, $2,400 for an iPhone. They will. And honestly, does Apple really care if they sell this iPhone Fold in huge numbers? I think they may want to. It's also going to be about platform expansion. They first want to expand the Fold series and the Fold lineup, and maybe, they'll start to experiment with I'm pretty sure they have like a Z Flip style, a clamshell type of foldable. Maybe they might release that. Maybe they might release like years down the road a trifold like the Z Trifold from Samsung. So we'll see what Apple has in store for the foldable lineup. But I think Apple is looking to expand. And I think the Fold is Apple experimenting safely. It's not going to be for everyone. But those who said, oh, well, I'm never going to get a Fold, they're going to get a Fold. They absolutely will get a Fold. And they will be like, well, I like this Fold. And they'll be like, oh, I never said anything. Then they'll go back to their old statement and be like, I never said anything like that. I just said, like, well, if Apple makes a Fold, then I'll get it. Even though in reality they said, well, if Apple makes a Fold, I'm still not going to get it because I don't like folds. But because Apple made it afterwards, they got it. So, point being is like they'll just get whatever Apple makes, right? Anyway, I think the Fold is going to be setting the direction for a huge part of the direction for Apple for the next decade. Now, how do these three iPhones fit together essentially? And what's interesting is how clean this lineup does become. Each phone is going to have a clear purpose. You do get a choice between the regular Pro and Pro Max, so that's something I do appreciate. So hopefully Apple continues that. There's no overlap confusion. Like if you want a Pro but the bigger version, you get a bigger version of it. If you want more productivity, you want a Fold, you get a Fold. Right? There's no bad choice. The 18 Pro and Pro Max is going to be for those who are in the creative space, those who are looking for endurance, like Pro Max, especially for endurance and better battery life. Fold, productivity, early adopters. Apple, while they may not, I still think they probably want people to upgrade every single year, but if you pick these up, I don't think you're going to have a need to upgrade every year. Even right now, if you pick up a 17 Pro, there's no need to upgrade every single year, even 2 years. These phones are so good, they'll last 5, 6, 7 years. And with Apple releasing, well, at least rumored, with the 18 Pro, 18 Pro Max, and iPhone Fold, they're releasing their most expensive iPhones during the quarter 3 and quarter 4 of 2026, so during that shopping holiday season. And a lot of people are going to kind of switch to the Pros and end up spending that more money. So I guess I see what Apple's doing there, but what does this mean for the future of the iPhone lineup, because we're finally getting a new Fold, finally after years? Apple is listening to their consumers, to their customers, and they're kind of bringing out a little bit more competition. They're bringing out more variations of the iPhone, maturity in a way. And I don't think Apple is kind of looking to, in reality, they haven't really been that type to be like, let me get the first Fold out on the market. No, they always waited to like, okay, let's have others get like this certain tech, like let's get others get the Fold out in the market, see how it works with people, and we'll work on it and see if we can perfect it in the most Apple way it could be. And that's what they're doing with the iPhone Fold. So they're going to be chasing satisfaction. There's going to be more intentional buying, if you ask me. There's going to be fewer regrets. So the iPhone lineup for 2026 is going to be the 18 Pro, 18 Pro Max, and iPhone Fold, with the 2027 spring lineup being the iPhone 17, 17e, or iPhone, excuse me, not 17, iPhone 18, 18e, and potentially the iPhone Air 2. iPhone Air 2 is still up in the air because, like, I guess it's not selling well, so Apple's went back to the drawing board, and they might axe it completely, or they might kind of fix some things or add some things that a lot of people were vocal about with its successor. We'll see. But 2026, it's not really Apple reinventing the iPhone. It's more about them committing to clear roles. The Pro has become a tool. The Pro Max has become the reliable workhorse. The Fold is going to become the future. And I think Apple is playing the long game, but they're also listening to their customers. And honestly, I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm excited for the lineup for the 2026 iPhone lineup. For me, I'm going to be upgrading as I do every single year. It's just what I do. Like, I talk about the latest tech, so it always makes sense for me to upgrade. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you going to upgrade every year? What do you think about the iPhone Fold? Like, I'm genuinely excited for it. It's also going to be getting a larger battery capacity. So like 5,600 milliamp hours is what it's rumored to be. We'll have to wait and see. I'm excited nonetheless, though, that Apple's finally releasing a foldable. But would you have liked to have seen the iPhone 18 release with the 2026 lineup? I personally would have, but then again, Apple's making their own decisions, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and stay tuned as we're going to talk a little bit more about iPhones and other devices, and I'll catch you all in the next video.